Hey guys, welcome. If you've watched my previous video, the Guardian MX Pain Showcase, you know that I planned to carry all these Guardians to Pyro, find a nice beach and set it down, and do a nice little comparison between the base Guardian, Guardian QI, and the Guardian MX. But unfortunately, the game took all my ship, so hours of work gone, and set me back to Lorville again. Ugh. But maybe that is a good thing, because I just find out that when you apply the new paints for the Guardian MX to the base Guardian or the Guardian QI, they look a little different. So before we do the ship comparison, let me add a few paints for the paint showcase. Now first, let's take a look at the blackout paint. This is my favorite paint. So on my left is the MX, and on my right is the base Guardian. So you can also see the size comparison right here. Maybe the base Guardian is a few inches longer, especially at the nose. But the width, the MX, is wider than the base Guardian. And the height, you can see the height is quite tall for the MX. Because the landing gear, see how low the landing gear for the base Guardian? And also the Guardian QI, but see how tall the landing gear for the MX. It can definitely be lowered. So hopefully CIG can redesign the landing gear just a little bit. It will be better fitted to many ships, especially the Aegis. It will be easier to go out of the Aegis from the front hangar. Right now, you cannot put the ship through the front hangar of the Aegis. You have to go back in and back out. About the paint, they're all blackout paint, but when applied to the Guardian MX, it's like this. A little bit of red contrast in the back and the engine as well. But for the base Guardian, the red is overall. Either one is very nice. I kind of like the Guardian MX. I was saying maybe you need more red on the front, but I think it's a little too much. And the blackout paint does give me the TIE Fighter vibes. Love it. Next paint is a Harlequin paint. So the Harlequin paint, when applied to the Guardian MX, which is showcased in my previous video, is different than when it's applied to the Guardian or the Guardian QI. So the red contrast on the top is throughout the entire arm. Really nice, all the way to the front. And the bottom, this section right here. Also, the engine. Yeah, the QI has a spine for the QED. Very cool looking. And the next paint is the Peninsula paint. So this one is another Guardian QI. So when that's applied to this Guardian QI, it looks very similar because this paint is very neutral paint. But because of the honeycomb pattern on the ship, it looks really pretty. Feels like the Wicklow ship. Really nice. So last paint. This is the Guardian MX. And this is the old paint. It's called Downpour paint. It's sky blue with dark gray contrast. Applied to the Guardian MX. Very classy paint. Very classy color. Love it. And the bottom as well. So all these paints can be applied to different Guardians and they look a little different. Now, let's do a detailed comparison between the Guardian MX, the base Guardian, and the Guardian QI. And because I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm not going to create the fancy titles. I'm just gonna use the ship performance viewer website. So the red color is the Mirai Guardian, the base Guardian. The blue is a Guardian QI, and the green is a new Guardian MX. Let's compare some essential specs. First of all is speed. Base Guardian SCN speed 213 meters per second. Guardian QI is 210 meters per second. And the Guardian MX is 208. So the MX SCM speed is 5 meters slower than the base Guardian. Boost speed forward. The base Guardian 465. Guardian QI 460. MX 455. So the MX is 10 meters per second less than the base Guardian when boosted. Maximum navigation speed, base Guardian 1125 meters per second. The QI and MX are the same, 1100 meters per second. Now, for maneuverability, this is very important for combat because these are combat ships. So for the pitch axis, the base guarding is 40 degrees per second. When boosted with full power to engine, base guarding is 48 degrees per second. Guarding QI, 37.5 degrees per second. When boosted, 45 degrees per second. But for the mirror guarding MX, pitch without boost, only 35 degrees per second. When boosted, is 42 degrees per second. Now, yaw axis, the numbers are the same. Without a boost, the base guarding is 40, guarding QI is 37.5, and MX is only 35. When boosted, base guarding is 48, QI 45, and MX is only 42. It's about 5 to 6 degrees slower, both pitch and yaw, than the base guarding. Now, roll axis. Without a boost, the base guarding 130 degrees per second. Guarding QI is slower, 125 degrees per second. And guarding MX is only 120 degrees per second. When boosted, base guarding 156, QI 150, MX 144. So roll axis, the MX is 10 to 12 degrees less than the base guarding. So the MX compared with the base QI, both the speed and the maneuverability is worse. But what is better is its shield and hull. So for both base guarding and the QI, with stock shield, I think it's a military sea shield, the shield strength is 4,740, but the MX doubles that, 9,480. The reason being is because the QI and the base guarding has only one size 2 shield generator, but the MX has two size 2 shield generators. Now, total hull HP, the MX is also better. So for the base guarding, the total hull HP is 69,000. QI is 68,900, basically about the same, 69,000. But for the MX is 89,200. So it's about 20,000 more hit points. For both of these three ships, the vital part is in their body. For the base guarding, the body HP is 7,100. For the QI is 7,000. But for the MX, the body HP is 8,100, 1,000 more than the base guarding. So the guarding MX is slower, less maneuverable, but it has more shield and a little bit more hull HP. So that's the comparison between the essential specs, because these are fighters. And the first concern would be speed and maneuverability, as well as shield and hull strength. Next, let's compare their components and weapons and take a look at the interior of the ship. When I look behind these two ships, you can already see another size comparison from this angle. You see how tall the guarding MX is? This is a base guarding ramp. This is the guarding MX ramp. Wow, so high up there. The base guarding has one size 2 cooler, two size 1 power plant, one right here, one right here, and one size 2 shield generator, and one size 2 quantum drive. And guarding MX has same thing, one size 2 cooler, but instead of two size 1 power plant, it has one size 2 power plant and two size 2 shield generators, one right here and one right here. So basically the difference is the power plant upgraded to one size 2 and added one extra size 2 shield generator. But in terms of the interior space, the MX does not have a bed, and there's quite a few wasted space here. So same thing here as base guarding and the guarding QI and MX. This is the suit locker, and then weapon rack, and then the middle compartment, and you have the engineering right here with a fuse. And then this is a gravity generator. And here is life support. But this, what is this? This is an engineering too. This part is kind of wasted space here. And then you don't have a bed, but you do have a personal storage right here. 450K micro ICU, that is it. Fire extinguisher here. And then is this compartment, which you go to the pilot seat. I feel like there's some wasted space here. It looks pretty big space, right? Like, you can see, you can walk. I don't mind to make it narrower or something. Now, this is the base guardian. So you go up. This is the first compartment right here. You can see it's narrower than the other guardian, I think. This is a big battery. So you have a suit locker, weapons rack. So middle compartment, you see this compartment is very compact. You have a very narrow door here. Yeah, this section is divided into two. Engineering panel right here, one shield. Maybe because they added one extra big shield, but the shield generator can be put in different places. You also have a little kitchenette and a bathroom. And then a bed here. Personal storage. 650K micro ICU. You also have one outside. And then this is a compartment. You go to the cockpit. So this base Guardian is very compact. But the Guardian MX, even though the ship is bigger, but you don't have the bed, you don't have a bathroom. So basically that ship is designed to fly out, do combat, and come back. But where do you come back? The best place is come back to a station. The only ship that can fit the ship is A98 Jump and Idris. It does not fit the Polaris. The Idris, to fit the Idris is also very fiddly. So that's the interior look. Let's take a look at the exterior. So for both the base Guardian, the Guardian QI, as well as the Guardian MX, they all have very convenient personal storage as well as the weapon rack. So this is the base Guardian. You have another extra storage of 450K micro ICU. On the other side, you have a weapons locker. So this is the same for the QI and the base Guardian. Now for the Guardian MX, on the left arm, on the right arm, you also have a personal locker, 450K micro ICU. And then on the right hand side, you also have a weapons locker. 2 primary weapons and pistols and med pens, med guns. That's it. So the Guardian is a convenient ship from the outside. Personal locker, weapons rack for all these variants. Now, I think the biggest difference for the Guardian MX is that it does not have a bed to log out. For many players, this might be a big issue. Personally, this is not a big issue to me because usually I don't use the ship. I use the ship to fight and die. I don't use the ship to fight and bad luck. So very rare I bad luck on a combat ship. That's just for me. But different player has different play style. So that is one major concern for the ship. It does not have a bed to log out. However, the biggest problem for me is not the bed to log out. So this is the base Guardian. You have a bed to log out. You also have an extra personal storage, 650K micro ICU. But the biggest difference is that this nice little kitchenette, and especially the bathroom, because hygiene is going to be a thing. And you have this little mirror. I don't have a head. I'm a vampire. So personal hygiene is going to be a thing soon. And where is the bathroom on the Guardian MX? The bathroom is located at TISA spaceport. Now, let's take a look at the weapon differences. So for the base Guardian as well as the Guardian QI, you have 2 size 5 hardpoints and 16 size 2 missiles. Even though the Guardian QI come with stock size 3 missiles, but you can change the missile racks to have 16 size 2 missiles. Now, for the Guardian MX, you have 4 size 4 hardpoints and 24 size 2 missiles. The missile rack are bespoke. You can change the type of the missiles, but you cannot change the size. Now, here is a difference between these weapon hardpoints. If they all use laser repeaters, so for the base Guardian or Guardian QI, if we put Galderins on it, the sustained DPS is around 1300 hit points. And if we put 4 Rhinos on the Guardian MX, the sustained DPS is increased to 1600 hit points. So 4 size 4 will do more damage than the 2 size 5. And besides, the Guardian MX has 8 extra size 2 missiles, and that can do more damage as well. Another difference is the cockpit. And both of these ships, you can go in from the front. So for the regular Guardian and Guardian QI, the cockpit looks like this. You do not have a blast shield. You have a very good view. And the MFD is on top. And the button is on top. Now for the Guardian MX, you do have a blast shield. Looks quite nice, right? So turn the ship on. Ooh, really cool. I like it. Feels like an alien ship. And the MFD is on your left and on your right, like the Scorpius. I like the color scheme and the buttons on the MFD. Looks better. So you can retract the blast shield by clicking here. And now you have a much better view. If you aim down sight, you see that little animation? Really cool. Now, to exit the ship, just click here. This button is always obstructed. Now, the last important comparison between these ships are what ship can these Guardians fit, which I have already done in the previous 2 videos. If you haven't watched it, here is what I tested. Base Guardian and Guardian QI can easily fit into the A90 Jump, Polaris, as well as the Aegis. But for the Guardian MX, it can fit the A90 Jump with a very tight fit, but it cannot fit the Polaris. It can fit inside the Aegis. You can fit 5 of them inside the Aegis, but you can only go from the back ramp in and back ramp out. You cannot go out from the front ramp. However, if the height of the landing gear is reduced for a few inches, then it shouldn't be a problem to come out of the front ramp of the Aegis. So this is a sovereign paint applied to the Guardian MX. You have the gold trims. I think this is one of the concierge paint come with the Guardian. So you have the beige and charcoal. Glossy finish for the charcoal. Good contrast. Neutral color, but looks very high-end. Also on the engine as well.